Chapter 9. Alexander's eyes flung open. "I have to pee," he announced. The declaration was made to an otherwise empty attic. He pressed a button on his vintage digital watch and groaned at the time. His long legs lifted for a moment before dropping, and he used the motion to go from laying down to sitting on the edge of his bed in one fluid move. He reached over and pushed a switch. Soft light illuminated the room. "I have to pee," he repeated. He hurried through the kitchenette and the short, maze-like hallway to the stairs. He could barely see, but he didn't need to. Every cluttered part of the attic was mentally mapped in his mind. He turned the glass doorknob and stepped into the much cooler air of the second floor. Slowly, he closed the door, spun around and hurried to the bathroom. The small nightlights near the toilet allowed him to aim his urine stream as he relieved himself. He stood there a moment with his pants down and stared sleepily at the toilet bowl before pulling his boxers up. Silence receded as a soft sound made it to his ears from a nearby room. He flushed the toilet and crept out of the bathroom. The neighboring bedroom door was halfway open, and he took a step toward it in an effort to understand what he was hearing. "Mikey?" he whispered. The barely audible sobbing stopped. Alexander pushed the door open just enough to step into the guest bedroom. "Mikey?" he repeated. "What?" he quietly yelled. "Are you okay? I thought I heard—" Alexander began. "I'm fine." Alexander's eyes fluttered as he recalled this exact circumstance playing out at one point when they were growing up. He deliberately stymied the recollection as it threatened to take him out of the present moment. "You don't sound fine," he said. "Go back upstairs, Alexander." Alexander sat at the end of the bed. "Please, just go away," Michael pled. The words barely filtered through his pillow. "You should move in." "What? You're not going to stay there, right?" Alexander asked. "I haven't even thought about it," Michael replied. "It would be cool to have you move back in." Michael sniffed. "I don't think Uncle Cass would be thrilled about that." "It's our house and Victor's," Alexander reasoned. "He's lucky we let him live here," he joked. "I don't want to move," Michael began.
"Victor probably should live here too," Alexander added. "If Jack was right and we're targets now, we should all live under the same roof and stick together." Michael released a laugh. "Yeah, that's not going to happen." "I'm serious, Mikey. He's almost 40. He's not going to move back in," Michael reasoned. "He should have after Vivian and Mia's accident," Alexander said. "He's always on the verge of yelling or crying. He didn't heal right." "There is no right way to heal from something like that," Michael whispered. "I think it would be good for both of you to come back home." "This isn't our home anymore." "It will always be our home, Mikey." "I just want to leave. Maybe go to the West Coast." "That's not going to make you feel better," Alexander responded. "You'll still be you wherever you go." "I'm 22. I just graduated college. I just needed an excuse to dump Jack. I wasn't looking forward to going to Ireland to meet his family." Michael's head lifted from the pillow and he met Alexander's eyes. "Do you think he even actually has a family in Ireland?" Alexander shrugged. "It doesn't matter now." Michael began sobbing into his pillow. "Shit, Mikey, I'm sorry." Alexander reached out and rested a hand on his brother. "I mean, it sucks right now, but it'll get better, I promise." "I don't want it to," Michael whimpered. "What?" Alexander asked. "I don't want any of this to be okay. I don't want to get over it. I don't want to heal." "You don't really get a say in that, Mikey." "You heard him," Michael whispered. "He got close to me because I'm weak, because he knew I'd be the easiest to get to." "He was wrong though, right?" Alexander asked. He didn't get to you. You were ready to send him packing as soon as we knew what was up. Michael shifted. We need to figure out how to, though, Alexander pointed out. You mean how to send him back to hell? Michael asked. Not just him. We need to get ready for whatever is coming. We need to read the grimoire and— Stop calling it that, Michael interrupted. What? Why?
A grimoire is something witches use, he explained. Samantha called it a grimoire when she was flipping through it, Alexander explained. She seemed to know you let her read it. Alexander shrugged. Why not? She seemed to be really into it. She made it sound like stuff people believe in can be used as weapons against demons. I know salt is meant to protect against evil. Michael began laughing. Is that why you threw salt at Jack? Yeah, it worked in the Hocus Pocus movie, and I remember hearing about how salt is used for protection. Michael buried his head in his pillow as hilarity overtook him. Alexander smirked as he watched his brother lose control. Didn't look like you or Victor had a better idea, and Jack did go away after I did that. Michael's waning laughter renewed. We need to read that book more and get Samantha to help us, Alexander reiterated. Michael sighed. Help us do what? He asked. Alexander's head shook in disbelief. Fight demons, he clarified. You want to drag her into this insanity? Michael asked. I don't think she would handle it well. Well, do you know anything about how to consecrate silver, salt, and crystals and stuff? Because she seemed to. There's probably a good reason why it's only men in our family who hunt demons, Michael responded. It's kind of sexist if you think about it, Alexander responded. Michael chuckled. Can't imagine why it's that way. Dude, Alexander said. It makes sense, Michael responded. Think about it. You're an angel. God forbids you from directly interfering with humanity. You decide to grant your angelic might to a human. Do you go with the stronger, faster, and by default more logical and generally more capable male? Or do you pick the relatively nerfed female? Dude. Alexander barely stifled laughter. I can't believe you said that. Most of my friends are women. I know what I'm talking about, Michael responded. Half the time they're too busy worrying about themselves to be of any help, and a quarter of the time they're a no-go zone because of hormones. Okay, yeah, but Samantha could, educate us, you know? I'm not going to stop you from involving your girlfriend. I don't know if I want to be involved, to be honest, Michael replied. I don't think we have a choice, Mikey. Jack made it sound like we're targets. If that's the case, you running away and not trying to be involved is just going to make all of us more vulnerable. Michael sighed. Well, I definitely want to send Jack back to hell. That's the spirit, Mikey. Alexander grinned at his brother. Did you or Samantha come across anything that could give us an idea of how to understand or utilize our angelic mights? Michael asked. It sounds like there are 3 types, I think. Alignment or something. Strength to act, will to endure, and meaning to guide. Victor's angelic might is going to be related to his muscles or something with his body, probably. And you've always been really smart and stuff. So your might probably will have something to do with that. And I guess that would leave me with spirit or will, whatever that means. That's great, but I don't feel any different, and I haven't noticed anything. What about you? Michael asked. Alexander considered the question for a moment. I found Samantha's necklace after she left. When I touched it, he paused. It was like I was in the backyard at night. I was on my hands and knees, and my eyes were blurry with tears, I think. But it was just like for a couple seconds. And when we were talking with Jack earlier, her necklace was in my pocket. And, I don't know, I had the sudden urge to touch it. And when I did, it was like her and I were in the attic again, and she was reading from the book. That's cool, but I don't see how that's going to help us send demons to hell. You and Victor will have angelic mites that work well with it. I think that's how it's supposed to work. Together, they form a gestalt. That's why we need to stick together. Michael responded with silence.